Hello, and welcome to LiveLongGear. Alright, so I have an interesting fire starter today. It's a military, it says it's a military style. It even has a mil spec, a mil specification, mil spec, haha, how about that? This is a older ration heating device. So it says for heating components of a meal, meal, not a mill. It says it's compressed trioxane fuel. I'll let you take a look at that. Kind of hard to read. There we go. So the directions. It says, warning, harmful if swallowed. Take precautions, so don't eat it, pretty much. Cause bad things. If you do eat it, read the back. It says, to remove any loose powder from tablet before igniting. I purchased this from Cheaper Than Dirt, by the way, and I purchased 4, and of the 4, 3 were fine. 1 case had been punctured. Now, I'm not entirely, I'm going to show you. So this is the one that I had received that had been punctured. It actually looks like a rip, like it got ripped open. Wasn't like that. Came fairly smooth in the bag, so there you have it. Now, I do have a bunch of powder in here, so I'm going to try and light that on fire first. I'm going to dump that out. Now, without having dealt with this stuff regularly a lot, or, to really have a strong opinion on it, that's why we're here. We're learning. I can tell you that there is probably almost as much material in here as there is there. And when this was first punctured, there was still some hard material, and now it is all turned to a chalk kind of stuff. A purple chalk. So, obviously this is the kind of thing that needs to be, I'm going to say, airtight, because it appears to fall apart if it's not. So, place and burn entire bar, approximately 2 inches below vessel being heated. Protect from wind use, but with adequate ventilation. So I can't imagine it's super healthy to breathe in. So, make sure you have plenty of ventilation. So, I'm gonna set that aside, and I'm gonna set this other one over here. They're fairly small. It's about as wide as the dollar, and about half as long, I'd say. A little more than half as long. So there you have it. Alright, let's see if we can safely make this thing on fire, catch fire. Now this is powder. It says to burn the tablets and to dispose of the powder. Out of curiosity, I'm going to light the powder. I have it all over my fingers as well, so hopefully we don't cause a rather serious flame. Alright, success. I'm not on fire. It actually is turning to a liquid. I don't know if you can see that on camera. It's turning to a liquid whenever the heat gets close, and it's sort of melting around the match. There, I've got some of it on fire in the match. Well, it is stuck to the match. It's dripping off. I don't know if you can see how brightly it's burning. Gotta put the match out. It's getting a little hot on my fingers. But that's pretty interesting, I think. So maybe if there's a way we can smash this stuff down. Wow, it smells very different. Very, very different. Yeah, it's almost impossible to smash, to flatten. So that's a little out of the options there. Now it's stuck to the knife. It's a very chalky material. It's kind of hard to describe. It's almost like, if you've ever done gymnastics, you use that, chalk like that, and you get a whole bunch of it on your hands, and you can just do whatever you want. It very much feels like that. So let's try and light it on fire again. Then I'm going to try and light it on fire with a spark to see if we can get an igniter to make it take off. Alright, let's see what happens here. It's turning it to a jelly. I don't know if you can really see that. It's actually turning it to a jelly, which is then turning and sticking to the match itself, and then it drips off. Can you see? It's fairly interesting. Oh, burned itself out again. This would not be something you can use. I would use for hunting. It is a very, very strong smell. fairly pungent. Not in a bad way. I guess pungent might not be the right word. It's fairly strong scented though. You can definitely smell that. You know, it's very different. So a coyote or a deer or elk or whatever you're out trying to get would most likely be able to tell what that is. So I'm going to use my handy dandy blast match. I have a video for this. Wonderful, wonderful item. Check it out. It's in my channel. I can get it open. You know, it's really easy. Aha! There we go. It's really easy to do sometimes. Sometimes I struggle with it. So sparks, here we go. Doesn't seem to be taking them very well. Oops. Well, I'm sliding all over the place, but... Well, other than the ferrocium, the striker bar being incredibly bright, and now I can't see very well, it doesn't seem to be taking. Whoop! Now I'm on fire. Great. Alright. Really trying to get a bunch of sparks going here. Alright, so I'm going to switch over to the magnesium bar and see if I can't scrape off a little bit bigger. I don't think it will light. I don't think it will light unless it's in a bar. So this is just a Coghlan's magnesium bar. Again, I got videos, check it out. Check them out, check them out, check them out. There's actually some bars that won't light, if you don't know that. And I've kind of covered that in some of my videos. Yeah, the sparks, as soon as they hit this, seem to melt the material around it, the trioxane. As soon as the sparks hit that pile, they melt it and immediately are coated in the jelly. It turns to almost a liquid. So that's not the way to do it either. So it is possible that we have to use an actual bar instead of the dust. Here we go. We're going to open the container. Alright, here we go. It's opened. Bam. There's a little bar of trioxane in there. Well, it comes with little crystal tablets as well. Let me show you what I mean here. Let's see if I can open this. It's a little funny colored bar of soap. Okay, so here is your Trioxane Tablet. Here are your crystals that come with it. I'm guessing those are some kind of absorbent. It doesn't say anything about the crystals on the outside of the package. It says, do not remove wrapper until ready to use. Remove any loose powder from tablet before igniting. Place and burn entire bar, hold on, approximately 2 inches below the vessel. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about the crystals. Maybe we'll try and light those on fire also. Let's make a separate pile, shall we? Alright, so we got our little pile of crystals. And we're going to light this bar on fire as well. I'm going through matches just because I have mountains of them. And the lighter I have doesn't seem to be working. So, test the lightability of the bar. Oh, took off immediately. Hot. Woo! That actually took off, and that's putting off a very warm flame. That's probably the warmest of all the fire starters I've tried to use. I don't know if you can see that it's turning this dust into, or this powder into liquid. See if I can show it on the side of the blade there. It actually seems to be igniting it now. It's a very hot flame relative to some of the others we've used. I know you can barely see it, but it is actually a blue flame. Let's see if I can get something behind it to show you without catching it on fire. Seems to be burning for quite some time. I wonder if these crystals are flammable. This could be relatively dangerous, but we're going to find out anyways. If it was a military something or other, we can't be the first person to try this. Alright, the crystal seems to be sitting there. It seems to be melting. I have trioxane on the knife. It's a blue flame. It's very pretty, actually. Alright, now the entire pile of crystals is actually on fire. They appear to be melting. Turning almost directly to a liquid. Seems to be cooling off. You can see the more orange flame now. This could be a lot of the liquid that's left over. It appears to burn until it's almost completely gone. Very little leftover residue. Making an absolute mess on the board here. But all the crystals are completely gone, and all the liquid seems to be gone. There was a pile of them here. Now there is not. The dust, the powder appears to be gone. Let's see. There's almost a liquid underneath. That's kind of interesting. Like I say, it smells very strong. Let's see what happens. Our funny colored bar of soap. If I can flip it over. It's very hot. Flip it out. Oh, okay. Alright, just learned something the hard way. So you'll notice I have a little bit on my finger there. If you touch the bar, like I just did, it will stick to your finger and it will remain on fire. I just burned myself a little bit, but that's why we test these things. So, if you were to take this, probably not the best for children or adults that touch fire like I just did. Just be careful. It's hot. Fire's hot. It's a little more dangerous of a product than I normally like. You can see as I've moved it here, this entire pile is still on fire. So it does leave a sticky residue, which in a fire starter, you know, I don't really have too many purposes for. I'm not just saying that because it burned me. The sticky residue that it leaves over can cause you a hazard, and if you are using this in an emergency situation, a burn will only further your problems. You don't need me to tell you that. You should already know. But now I'm going to try and see if we can suffocate the main flame here with just this. It seems to be fairly resilient. Like I say, it burns incredibly hot, so that could be why. I'm going to try and blow it out now from the side. Okay, it can be blown out. That was a fairly severe amount of wind pressure that I made myself there. Alright, now, it's actually burned an indentation into the board, and it's the first of all the fire starters I've used that burns hot enough to be able to do that. So, we still have this left over. I assume it's very easily lightable again, so let's go ahead and try that one more time. I'm going to try and light it with a blast match to see if we can light it with sparks. So it's similar to what you would find in a magnesium rod, to see if it's a good spark catcher. Yes, I burned myself once again. It immediately caught on fire. Could have been because it was already pre-warmed. However, I believe that even if it was cold outside and you were to put this against your body to let the body heat warm it up, that would be adequate to be able to catch it with sparks. So definitely something to keep in mind. It burns very hot. It burns for a moderate amount of time. The powder did not seem to be able to be lit on fire with either a direct flame already made or sparks. You must have the bars. So overall, for survival, I wouldn't trust it, because if you puncture one of those packets, it appears like it turns to a powder and then does not seem to be as useful. As a standalone heat source, I give it many points. It's a very, very hot product. Physically hot, not attractive. It's also attractive, but you know what I mean. Very hot product, definitely, and wouldn't use it, like I say, for the survival aspect, because you can puncture the bag. You don't really seem to get that many uses out of a bar, and there is a higher level of risk from this fire starter over others of getting the material stuck to you and catching yourself on fire. You know, obviously, if you're not an idiot like I am sometimes and you don't burn yourself, you know, you don't have to worry about that, but there is a higher risk. That's all I'm saying, is there's a higher risk to cause yourself a burn with this, both because it is especially hot and it's a sticky liquid once it's burning. So guys, comment, subscribe. I have several more of these if you want to see me do other things with them. I kind of like to test one out when it's underwater. I see this as being a good fun thing for camping, for being a standalone heater if you're hunting and you're not around where you're going to be stalking game, because it does have a scent, and I don't know, it depends what you hunt or where you hunt. Where I'm from, you know, things will notice the scent. There's no other way to put it. So you wanna mask it as best as possible. And standalone heat source, good. Standalone light source, not bad. It puts off a blue flame. It's not as bright. Doesn't kick off as much light. Safety, it's a little dangerous. Longevity, you know, I mean, you've seen how long it burns. I've run the video. The video's at 15 minutes now, and I probably started burning this almost 5 minutes ago, maybe 6 or 7. So it's just turned to a liquid now. You see the black bubbling liquid. I'll try and get it on the knife and get it up to the camera. It turns into a liquid, for sure. This is my trash knife, by the way. This is not a nice knife. This was a $7 special. And it's my fire poker and anything else that I don't want to use for a good, slightly more expensive knife. Alright guys, take care, subscribe, like, comment, and check out some of my other videos for fire starters if you want some good ideas on what you might want to get for your kit for what you're going to use it for. Tell me what you want to see.